Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by dastardly Douglas DiMonda. And I haven't thought of a cool A word, but Adam Dubin.
Awful Adam.
Awful Adam, I like that one. That one works. So, writers and
Dastardly people,
directors
too.
of Traction Park Massacre, as I talk over Douglas there, set to premiere at New York Comic Con October 9th. So that's very exciting. So, can you guys give people an idea of what the movie's about if they're not aware yet?
Go for it, Adam.
So, Traction Park Massacre is a film. It's a loving nod to some old school slasher films, although it's present day, and it features twin slashers. It takes place in a park that is based on and not. It's very similar to the sort of well-known action park that thrived in New Jersey during the 80s and into the 90s. And the basic storyline is a group of young friends meet outlaw bikers, and they all go up to the abandoned park and wind up meeting the Terror Twins, Otto and Emil. And hilarity ensues. What can
Thrills and chills and decapitations and
real
blood
trouble.
ensue. Lots of
Real
trouble.
So these two
Sounds
groups
right
of
my
people
alley.
meet. Yeah.
So, you said it's inspired or based on like a real park. Is it like the legend of the twins part of that story?
No, we added that part. That's it's based off of Action Park in New Jersey way back in the I guess late 80s, 90s, and Adam and I went when we were 19, right? Adam, 19, and because it was like a badge of honor to go to this park because all you heard about was people getting hurt there all the time because there was really just no regulations, no nothing. So we decided we took two of our good friends and traveled up there to this park, and all four of us got hurt on different rides. Not like traction,
Like Maine,
but some bumps and bruises for sure. And there's one really pretty cool moment. It's something we use in the movie. I remember it like it's yesterday. Adam and I are walking side by side, and we turn and we see what's called in Action Park called the Cannonball Loop. It's like a water slide that literally has a loop, and you come out at the bottom. And at that time, and pretty much since then, Adam and I have been known to do some really stupid stuff. So, but we even looked at that and went, "No effing way." I mean, we used the real words. It was like, "Yeah, no way, nope, just nope," and kept walking. And so the ride itself was closed at that time for good reason. And then we ended up taking that and then glorifying it up and using it in our movie as a centerpiece.
That's pretty wild. So when did the idea to make this movie, write the story, come about?
I would say a couple years ago, Doug and I were hunting around for an idea that would, that we could do feasibly ourselves. And horror is just such a great genre. So, just stop on that for a second. It's like the great thing about it is that, it's really horror is the star of a horror movie. And even if there's stars in the movie, like star actors, I don't think that's necessarily why people go see a horror movie. I think they see it because if it's good horror, and they like it if it's good horror. And so, we pretty much landed on whatever we do, it's got to be a horror movie. And then it's kind of, figuring out what it is. But this, visit to Action Park had been a significant thing in our lives. It's funny. It was only one day, but it was something we talked about forever. And then that documentary came out a bunch of years ago about Action Park. And we were like, oh, wow, that was really a thing, and other people experienced it too. So when we hit on the idea of well, what if we did a horror, slasher type horror movie in some version of Action Park, it was that was it. And of course the title just suggested itself, which was Traction Park Massacre. And
which was great, which Adam told me one day. I don't know if it was in a text or a phone call. I'm like, it's so moshed together at this point because of all the work we've done. But I remember just going, oh, hell yeah. And then I think we were on the phone for well over 2 hours hashing the whole thing out. It was awesome.
Yeah, we just knew. It's kind of it. That's the beautiful thing about the title. It sets up a a picture in your mind of what this might be. And so that's, therein lies, the road to, a lot of work and craziness. But, here we are talking about this film, Traction Park Massacre.
Yeah, that's a good
that
point
is
about
pretty wild in itself. The fact that Am and I came up with this, and literally within 2 years we had a finished movie. It was like, that wild, just crazy, but awesome at the same time.
Yeah, that's to say, that's a good point by Adam about like horror, because no one's like, oh, a new drama movie's playing, let's go see it. Like that's not like an idea.
Well, to your point, Neil, I would say that like if I tell you about any other movie, if it's an action movie, a comedy, or a drama, probably your first question is like, oh, who's in it? You know what I mean? And that kind of guides your perception of, do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? It certainly has something to do with it. And in horror, it's the only genre I can think of. It's really unique that it's like the who's in it is almost like an afterthought. It's like, what's it about? Where's it take place? What's going on in it? That's the thing. Doug saw it too. We saw this movie that's getting a lot of attention right now called, Weapons, which I'm sure you saw.
Yeah.
And, there's some excellent actors in it. I guess, Josh Brolin being the most well-known.
Yeah, and it's not really even presented like it's a Josh Brolin movie.
But it
snapped his finger. I don't get it.
And if some other actor were in there, it would be just as legitimate. He does a great job, of course, because he's an excellent actor. But you and I, we could think of like 20 actors that could be in it, and it would work. The movie would work because it's a horror movie that works.
Yeah, and really the character people talk most about is the witch character, and she's great in it. But like I really, nothing against. I don't know her by name, honestly.
No, right, and she was tremendous, and that's what made the movie work. So yeah, that's horror. Again, it's this genre that we love. And that we felt was the right place to like kind of plant our flag and start going.
Totally.
So when you're
writing, that's not to say. I'm sorry. Our actors were all fantastic. You know what I'm saying? It's like they came prepared. They just were ready to go because we had a tight schedule, and everybody kind of came together that way. And their performances are fantastic. So it's like they will be known soon enough. That's the kind of deal that I see it as. But Adam's absolutely right. It's the kind of movie where it's just like, well, how are they dying? What are your kills? Is it that way? And it's like, as long as they're entertained, you can do it.
I've only seen the trailers and the twin. Well, actually, all of it looks really fun. Not just these guys are here; it looks very fun to me. And the twins look great. So finding those guys to play the role, was that hard? Did you know them like beforehand?
Not at all. I could give credit here to our producer Jack Gulick, who just kind of went hunting around and found Kai and Bodhi Schulz working
fantastic
on the internet. They put out videos of their own, and in fact they were they're always doing characters and stuff, and they're known in the Twitch community as the characters that they are and that they play. But what really got me and Doug, we were so taken by them that we actually pictured the twin slashers to be older. And when we met and interviewed Kai and Bodhi, we rewrote it for younger actors. We just made the storyline happen younger. And it was really
the best thing we ever did too.
Yeah, it was because a tremendous move.
To have your killers relate more towards your young people, have everybody on that same level was really good.
Yeah. So I don't know, we felt that like suddenly it was there's sort of this group of young friends who go to the area. It's by the point of the movie, the park, which was named Action Wonderland, is abandoned. It burned down 15 years before, and they just go to that area as like to camp out. And by making, I think the young people and like the killers kind of young, it was kind of a cool dynamic. I always think of like the classic slasher movies, and the slashers always like a generation.
Really, they're a giant too. First of all,
they're big, and they're just a generation or two ahead of the young people that they're wiping out. And I just felt like this was kind of an interesting way to do it too. So really, it was these excellent actors that we came across. Real identical twins that guided us in making the characters even better.
Yeah, they were so good. I remember I saw one picture. It's this classic picture of them wearing red turtlenecks in a classic like family type pose, one standing, one sitting. And before even I'm like, oh, that's them. I was like, yeah, that's them. You know, and then we interviewed them and talked to them, and it was just I was like, holy shit, I don't want to.
You could say anything, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, I was literally like, holy shit, that's them. And Adam and I, like he said, we literally like, oh, we have to rewrite some stuff. We have to give them more. They're too good to keep them toned down, and it worked. And hopefully, if we get to do another one, which I think we will, they'll be much more prominent.
Oh, that's exciting. I was asked about that near the end, so we'll get back to possible sequels. But also, when you're writing a movie about a theme park, do you have access to anything, or is it like we have to build, everything?
Yeah, I think I think we could talk about Action Park, the real one, as being a jumping off point. We didn't want, we're happy to talk about Action Park. We're thankful that we went there and survived, and it's great that it's become this legendary thing. But as I found out in making this, there are people. Action Park itself was a northeastern kind of thing. It was in New Jersey, so people came from kind of those areas. But you find out that a lot of people from all over the place are kind of aware of some kind of like kind of less than Six Flags level park where it's kind of a little bit. You're looking at these rides, going like, "Is this even safe?" And
I've seen some stuff. If you looked. Of rides just collapsing with people, it's like I don't like watching, but I'm like, oh man.
So we kind of set the thing in a sort of unnamed area in the South to make it kind of what it, just be different. That seemed like an area where this kind of thing, an unregulated park, could have taken place. And as I said, again, the in our storyline, the park burned down 15 years ago, and the twins, who at the time were about 10 years old, were thought to be killed in the inferno. And as you come to find out, they survived and kind of lived on their own on the grounds of the park.
So what were like some of the difficulties of making like a realistic park? And because I see glimpses of, and like there's a water slide, and I see some cool stuff.
Right.
How long does it even take to create all these things?
Well, see, that was the thing. I think Doug and I had very, realistic conversations about what we could do on a budget, and we decided, and the decision is always the right one, to put all the money up on the screen. So invest in good actors, invest in good production values, in what we could do. We opted kind of originally to not make it supernatural in nature. In other words, it's very, so that we could do kind of very practical kills and all that kind of stuff, and kind of what. But
also, give people a chance to go, maybe I can get out of this, kind of thing, without having to, find some ritual or something like that.
So part of the way of doing that's the reason. I mean, the obvious thing would be to do Traction Park Massacre in an amusement park and just have people get wiped out while they're at the rides and everything. That's kind of expensive. You got to kind of get an amusement park for 2 weeks so you can shoot there. We kind of went the other way. We just said, okay, what if the thing was there, it burned down, and and that's part of the legend, and that's why people continue to try to find the area. It's kind of off grid to find it, and of course get into trouble there. And that gave us a lot of freedom, actually, because that then whatever we were able to imagine is sort of just in the woods, almost sort of overgrown, and we just put it there. So now all you need is woods, basically, and whatever piece of the park you've decided has survived the inferno. So or that the Terror Twins have themselves constructed there. And that gave us all this freedom to just put there whatever we want. We had a lot of fun with that, actually.
Well, yeah, totally. Because
dressing but
it became their playground. So basically, if you wander into their playground, you're now a new toy to play with.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we approach that. Yeah.
I was gonna say I see your shirt Das Moose, and I love the theme song or the music video for the
Thank
movie.
you.
Yeah.
That's our band.
He's a
That's-
rock star, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
we wanted to do a sort of Ramones like tribute. I mean, you know, if in the best of all worlds, I'd have a Ramones theme song. You know what I mean? So I figured let's do something like that. And remember Pet Cemetery? I mean, how
Oh
great!
yeah.
You know?
I don't want to be buried in a pet
No
cemetery.
fair.
Yeah, that's one of the scariest scenes, I think. Now I want to play with you, and he
Yeah.
cuts the
Amazing.
Oh, that little kid scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a big fan. Yeah. So you guys are horror fans, I assume.
yeah, we
Totally. But go ahead, Adam. 'Cause,
Well, I would say, you know, let me put it this way. I would say I'm a fan of horror. I've met some horror fans who are so devoted that I don't think I'm in that category. But
well, yeah.
but and I you know, my hat's off to them. But I will say that you know, by being the right age, I remember going to a number of these films when they were originally shown in the theater, and having the and I feel, you know, the good fortune of being able to experience that with an audience in the theater. Now, I know it's different. A lot of younger folks came up and, you know, Halloween was something they put a VHS or a DVD in, and that was their first viewing, and that's fine. That's so cool. But I was able to be there for Halloween, and then like anticipate.
Well, wait. You're
I'll get
over the whole thing.
I'll get back, but I'm just saying,
know,
like, I anticipated.
I got to tell the story. No way.
I just anticipated like John Carpenter's next movie was like The Fog. I was like waiting for, you know what I mean, after he'd done that. So you could tell. Go ahead.
It's, for me, I'm like scared of my own freaking shadow. Yeah. So it's like when I was younger, he would go, Doug, let's go see this. I'm like, no way, man, because we lived out on Long Island, and you know where my house was. You know, it's like you'd get home and there's just tons of woods and stuff before you can get to your front door. And I'm like, nah, no way. So it's like he would always get me on, you have to come see this. You have to come. I'm like, I ain't going to see this, dude. No way. And so he ended up going and to the first Halloween, right? And he got so scared at the end, he didn't want to walk home. So he calls up his mom. He goes, Mom, can you pick me up and take me here? It's like you got to that theater, you got yourself scared, you get home on your own, you walk home on your own.
She hung the phone up on me, and I had to walk home in the dark, and every street, it was the suburbs. So what it looked like Haddonfield, Illinois. It looked exactly like where Halloween was, with like trees and hedges that remember in the opening scenes, even in daylight when he's like stalking them, and he's
with that great Steadicam shot in the beginning of that freaking movie. Come on.
That's what makes that movie so scary, because it could just be anywhere, and it's like anybody could be a killer. Even
and there's no blood in that movie. Which is fantastic.
No,
it's all just straight scares. So for me, but now I love being scared. I love going, can this movie scare me now? Right. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, and you know, a jump scare is going to get me every time. You know, I'll fly out the frame if you do a jump scare, you know, right now. Mm-hmm. But so they would always try to get me to see these movies. But the movie that did it for me was Evil Dead 2. So we were going to see, and like, Doug, you have to go. And it was in the summer, it's hot. I took a jacket with me so I could like cover my eyes, but it was so good. And I was laughing just as much as I was, you know, getting scared. It changed everything. And I was like, from then on, I was watching everything I could. And it's a good jumping off point, because for Adam and I, it can't just be, you know, the horror. We have to add some funny in there. Em and I, you know, we joke all the time, so it's got to be funny, you know. So it's like, but at the same time, we know, and we constantly know what we're making a horror movie. But it doesn't mean you can't laugh a little bit. You got to give people a little breather before you bring the horror back into it. So
yeah, I think those are the two most fun movies to go see with an audience, because you can interact with it.
So great. I had so much fun watching that movie. It changed everything. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, it's okay to be scared now. I still didn't like coming home that night, but it was okay.
So premiering at Comic-Con, what's the thought like going in? Like, obviously, I assume you're nervous and excited, but especially for Douglas, because I know Adam's made like, you know, a lot of documentaries and videos and stuff. Adam, this is your first. Yeah. I know you were in a movie.
Well, like you said, he's a rock star. He's used to being on stage. He rocks out. for me, even doing this, it's like, you know, I got to pump myself up. You know, it's a little different, but I'm excited. I'm excited for both of us because we really like the movie we made, and we're very excited to have a lot of people see it, and especially, you know, all our actors, like most of the main cast is going to be there, and we're really excited for them to see it because, you know, they worked just as hard and gave great performances. So, you know, for me personally, I just want to make sure we did them justice, and I think we did. So I'm looking forward to them seeing it as well.
And Adam, have you seen like a lot of your movies with an audience?
I've been fortunate to actually be able to, you know, screen stuff, a few things with an audience. I saw, you know, the film I did prior to this was called Murder in the Front Row, which was a documentary about the early San Francisco Bay Area thrash scene that Metallica and others came out of. And it was always the best. That film had a nice theater run and theaters, festivals, that kind of thing. And look, it's always the best to see it with an audience. And like, I don't know other way to put it other than you feel the crowd. You feel that they're with the film. You feel they're, you know, when they laugh at the right moments or moved by the right moments. And then I would do Q&As, and I just saw how the thing worked. So that was a great experience. I've had some others where, you know, you get to see it projected and be there with a crowd. And but really, this is like the first like feature film like this. And in a way, what's better than horror, man? You know, it's like that's where an audience really feels the movie. If you did it right, they're with it. Doug and I were fortunate we've already like screened it with an audience, you know, of some, you know, friends, family and everything. But you can feel a room, like you could feel when they're being drawn into the film and the storyline, and it just works. So I'm incredibly, you know, fortunate and looking forward to the New York Comic-Con premiere because, you know, now we're really, you know, it's like we built this hot rod and now we're taking it out on the street to like run it, you know, and that's really
good.
Yeah,
that's good. But we last year we debuted the trailer at Comic-Con and had a bit of a panel which went really, really well, better than we expected. And what we noticed is that people were like, when can I see it? When can I see it? You know, it's like, when's this coming out? So we're so glad that we have an opportunity to come back again and show the full movie.
Neil, you know, it was an interesting thing that happened after we showed the trailer last year, and, you know, we've shown it again. We also did like kind of a little kind of run up at Florida SuperCon in July, where we showed the first 10 minutes of the movie and also the trailer. And not only do people come up and say like, when can I see this? That's the normal, you know, reaction. But there's something else that happened. People come up and for some reason they want to tell Doug and I their stories of Action Park. Like we're like the recipients of this, and they want to share it. Doug, right? It happened after the show in October, and then in Florida. One guy in Florida was telling me that his dad was one of the young.
Oh my God, that was great.
At the park, and they tested the loop on him. He got to test the loop, and you know, everybody had like everybody who had some connection to it or something they wanted to tell, they would like wait, and at the end of the movie, they would come over and tell us about it. And I thought that's such a great real world connection that I had not anticipated. You know, I mean, obviously we made the film based on Action Park with that idea, but it's something that's turned out to be kind of a fun reality of it, that it kind of brought people together because Action Park was something they experienced the way Douglas and I did.
I love talking those stories. It was like we were talking about in the beginning. It's like a badge of honor. Oh, you went to Action Park. Oh, great. Or a similar story from a similar park like it. You know, it's like, I got hurt too. Oh, check out my scar here. You know,
it's like in Jaws when they're sharing
exactly. The best one more shot is like, should I show this? Nah. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good scene for the sequel. I don't know, but
why not?
So I like that Terror Twins LLC. So is that just used for this movie, or is that like actually something you guys have put together now?
You know, that's a corporation that we put together to, you know, fund and create the movie. We hope it you know, has the legs to keep going and make more of these films. And, you know, it would be a wonderful thing. We already, well, Doug, tell them how we tail in the movie and what our idea is.
Well, at the end, you always have to show that, if you want to franchise it or make more of these movies, got to show that your killers didn't die. So it's like at the end, you see, Otto and Emil pick up their signature goggles and like a bloody mess coming out of the death loop. So, and then we actually say it, and then right after that we go, Otto and Emil will return in Park Massacre 2 back in traction.
So you got to stay for the credit.
We're putting the good energy out there right away to go, hey.
It's very exciting. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you guys, and I'm excited to see it. Honestly, like it looks really fun. Something I would like to see. So, do you obviously want people to go to Comic-Con, but do you know where it goes after that?
We're right now we have a distribution partner in the UK. We're looking for that in the US, and we feel that with the energy that we build at New York Comic Con, we should be able to put that together. And of course, we will announce it and let everybody know about it, and onward and forward. We would love to do some kind of theatrical release. Obviously everything in the end lives on video in some form and goes out into the world. But Doug and I, experienced films, especially things like the Freddy, Krueger movies and Jason's and everything
good Jason's,
in theaters. And we would like to, at least have that for, some.
I go to the theater pretty much every week. So I'm with you. I think there's no better way to watch a movie. Even if it's something you've seen. I go to a couple theaters that show, old films in 35 millimeter at midnight and stuff. And that's a fun experience.
Yeah.
We do that too. We go to see like, the theater. What was the last one we saw? We saw Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, nice.
And then in the theater there, you got to see, which I didn't get to go to. You got to see Reanimator.
Oh, sweet! Yeah,
it's like
the 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah. Neil, I don't know where you are, but where I am in Brooklyn, there's a local theater that I don't mind giving them a shout out called the Nighthawk, and they do.
I love the Nighthawk. I've been there for Brooklyn Horror Film Festival.
Yes, they do a very nice job of programming, and they're very favorable toward it.
Is that where we saw Big Trouble Little China too?
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah,
and
that was great.
Last week, a week and a half ago, I went and saw It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive. So I mean, they'll dig deep. They did dig deep, and it was, again, it's a good film. It's a fun genre thing. It's kind of not made so great, but what's so much fun about it is if you see it with an audience, you're having the best time. So it was really an entertaining watch, and of course Larry Cohen, the genius. But
I love Larry Cohen, and it's it's funny because like movies like that, like they live forever. And there'll be movies like that came out the same year. Maybe they're up for an Oscar, and like if you mention, like you might be like, oh yeah, I remember that, or like, oh man, I don't even remember that, and then they just come and go. But the horror movies, for the most part, like they stay around forever.
I agree with you. I'll widen that out, and I'll just say genre stuff, basically science fiction, horror.
Yeah, like these weird underground things.
Stuff like that is the stuff that lives forever. And I always make this point to Doug usually when somebody passes away and you see they're like, this person died, the thing that's listed, they could be the finest actor, and the thing that's listed is the genre thing that they made, It's totally. I just love that. If they're ever on a Star Trek, that will be in the bio.
Especially original series for sure.
Yeah.
But the other thing, Adam, I constantly, it's like when we're making this, it's like, how you watch and horror movies too, there's some really good ones, but they're like one-offs. I mean, when I say a one-off, it's like you watch and go, that was good. I don't need to see it again. It's if it comes up, but
that's a good point.
The really good ones are the ones that you go, oh crap, rewind it. Let's watch it again right now. Or it's at least let's go to this part or that part. So it's like, as we were writing this, we wanted to make a movie that people will want to see again, or to tell their friends, oh, let's go see this together. I want to show you this, or, come to a scene. Cause to me, those are the movies that live on, it's like, if you remember a scene or remember a line, and, Am and I we're already using lines from our own movie with each other already. So it's like, that's the kind of movie that stays with you, It's like, and not to take away, there's some really, really good horror movies out there, but once you've seen it, I'm like, for me, I'm just like, all right, I'm good. But we want to make a movie that people want to see again, or continue to talk about. Oh, did you see that? Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Let me bring it up right now. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I'm in Massachusetts, so.
Oh, cool.
So the Coolidge Corner Theater in Brookline, I would recommend. It's been around since like the 1920s. I have to say 1920s now, because if you say 20s, you'd be like, oh, well, it just was created, but no, the 1920s. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, this is cool. And everybody out there, wherever you are, I think, find this cool theater that shows old stuff. Like you guys were saying, like everyone has stories of an old unsafe park. There's probably some weird screen near you that plays some cool old stuff, to go check it out.
Oh, dude, but Adam went to NYU Film School. I went to the School of Visual Arts. We were both in the city. But I remember, what was that theater? Every Friday night at midnight showed Blade Runner. And you and I would at least once a month go see that movie. And we would it was around, I think it was on 8th Street.
8th Street Playhouse, yeah.
Yeah, that was it, right?
They were the Midnight Movie Kings. Yeah, they were amazing. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I just bought my ticket at that theater. They do a 12-hour horror movie marathon every year from midnight till noon the next day, and it's all, old 35 millimeter films, and they always some kind of theme. This year it's creature movies, and they're showing Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D.
One of my favorites. I love Creature from the Black Lagoon.
It's as great as it gets, right there.
It really is so good.
Yeah, in the early years of doing the podcast, I had Ben Chapman, who played the creature on the land scenes on the show, which was like, to me, that's like one of the highlights of doing the podcast.
I love Creature. It's
and
I think it was scary as
can't be.
Yeah, and I think it's before its time. Like you watch it, and like there's a lot of like environmental stuff in the movie, and before like people really talking about it.
And the creature itself has a fish mouth. Doesn't even have teeth. And it's still so like, nowadays you see everything with these, monster teeth coming at you. Yeah. And this thing had this literally goldfish mouth, and it was so freaking scary, but it had the good claws. But
and the underwater scenes, like that's still like
unreal.
Amazing.
Unreal. I don't know how that guy held his breath for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, the wonderful actress in that, wasn't that Julia Adams? Yeah. So when she passed away, not too many years ago, she'd done all these great movies, was in tons of films, and her, the headline was, actress from Creature from the Black Lagoon. So my thing again is it's the genre classics that will live on forever. That's the thing that will always be.
It's a great point.
A lot of really fine work and Broadway work and all that stuff. That's what she'll be remembered for forever. Yeah,
because I had Betsy Palmer on in the first year, one of my first guests on the show, and she played the mom in the original Friday the 13th. And, she was like an A-list actress a lot of her career, and she really didn't even want to do Friday the 13th.
Right.
But later on, that's really what she's remembered for.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I remember that. Story. Yeah.
So where can people go to follow you guys or the movie, see where it's going to go?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're all over the socials. Traction Park's easily findable on Instagram. And, we have a website and everything. And I think if people just follow us on socials, we certainly update it. We get to see what's happening with the movie.
Adam's all over Facebook too. You can find him there. I'm
on Facebook too. I know people say it's for the older people, but I still like Facebook.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook, but I do Insta. You can find me at I think it's Doug D27.
Yeah, it's easily findable. And and anybody who wants to follow the movie, and of course, as soon as we know what theaters we'll be in, we'll put that out there. As soon as it's ever coming out on video, we'll put that out there. So we're good about it. That's exactly what I did with Murder in the Front Row, and it worked the same way. It was terrific. So we'll just do it right here, in the socials.
We just can't wait for people to see it, and we can't wait to make a whole bunch more of them. So,
all right, very cool, and congratulations.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Nasty Neal.
All right, thank you guys.
Good to talk to you, Neil. Thank you so much.
Really good to talk to you. Thanks so much for the
I had a
opportunity.
great time, honestly.
All right, and I'm sorry about my mom.
Oh no, it's totally fine.